Tonight on News 5 Live, churches lead the charge, but other entities join call for cannabis bill referendum. Brutal beatdown of Orange Walk residents sparks outrage, and repairs begin on Mahogany Street. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
Download the SmartStream app on the Android Play Store and create your account to get access to movies and stream at home or on the go. Prepaid customers can purchase regular data packages or get a discounted rate on a special SmartStream package by dialing 7737. Postpaid customers will be billed monthly. Never miss a movie again with SmartStream.
What does electrification mean to Toyota? Everything. Toyota is driven by the freedom to go anywhere, and this mentality is clear in the diversity of its electrified vehicle lineup. Whether in the around-town efficiency or off-road performance of a hybrid, the perfect blend of gasoline and electric driving of a plug-in, the technologically advanced hydrogen-powered fuel cell, or a zero-emissions all-battery electric vehicle. Toyota, electrify your drive with a powertrain for all.
Staying connected with your loved ones while traveling is even more important during this global pandemic. With Digi, this is even easier and more convenient with our data roaming plans. Postpaid customers have instant access to mobile data when in 41 destinations worldwide. With 3 affordable plans, starting at only $28, it's easy to instantly connect via your favorite digital platform. To purchase your data roaming plan, contact Digi before your travel date. If you are already abroad, you can contact us via email at digihelp@livedigi.com or via WhatsApp at 608-8888. For more information, visit our website at livedigi.com/digicel or visit a Digistore near you. You can roam, stay safe, and stay connected with Digi.
Looking for low-cost television advertising? Have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you save valuable time and money. Call us today at 223-0146 or visit us at our offices on Pony Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Tuesday, April 5th. I am Sabrina Daly. The calls for a referendum on the legalization of marijuana are increasing. The evangelical churches and the Council of Churches have taken an official position in support of a referendum. The United Democratic Party has since taken an official stance in support of the church's call for a referendum, but for different reasons. All this is happening following the passing of Cannabis Industrial Hemp Control and Licensing Bill through both the House of Representatives and the Senate. The government did, however, indicate that in the Senate, they would delay the implementation of the bill for further consultations. Before we look at the latest from the church and the opposition, News 5's Paul Lopez has the previous statements on record from the Ministry of Home Affairs, the opposition leader, the medical community, and the churches. All these entities have weighed in on the matter over the last 9 months.
The Cannabis Industrial Hemp Control and Licensing Bill has sparked division within society. The government of Belize and the opposition both appear to be in support of legalizing marijuana in Belize for recreational use. But the medical community holds some reservations, while the church has categorically objected the move. Karim Musa, the Minister of New Growth Industry, reasons that legalizing marijuana will decrease gang-related murders in Belize City.
All of these gang-related murders, they all stem from this very plant. And so we have to find a way to include these young men in a very responsible and safe system. So they have to be a part of the system in terms of dealing, but at the same time, we have to understand that is the root cause. Yes, there may be a continuation in terms of retaliations, but when you look at it, all of the illegal drugs, again, we don't know what is in these drugs coming across the border, but they also come along with illegal firearms. And that is something that we have to curtail. And again, that is something we're trying to fix. If we produce local marijuana for these young men to sell, then they won't have to buy and dodge the police and come in illegally with this foreign marijuana, which we don't know what is in there.
Moses Shine Barrow, the leader of the opposition, gave his support for the bill in 2021.
This is one of the times that I agree with the government. I applaud the government for taking such a bold step towards removing the criminality of cannabis consumption and cannabis trade, which has the criminalization of cannabis has impacted the poor and lower class for generations. So I applaud the government, Minister Karim Musa, for taking such a bold step that will not only reverse generations of discrimination and classism, but also help to boost our economy. Because the economic ramifications of the legalization of cannabis are tremendous.
The Belize Medical and Dental Association believes that Belizeans need more education on the use of marijuana for medical and recreational purposes.
We took this to our membership and we did a national survey with our physicians. The findings were interesting, 3 key points that were interesting. Less than 25% of our physician membership agrees that marijuana should be legalized for leisurely purpose. Approximately 75% of our membership agrees that in the future, there is a place for marijuana from a medicinal perspective if we have the proper regulation, the proper information on board for that.
And then there is the Council of Churches and the National Evangelical Association, who strongly oppose the legalization of cannabis for recreational purposes.
We see some serious red flags, especially for young people. We see some dangerous red flags for the nation in general, because what we are noticing is that countries around us, there are several Caribbean countries that are into marijuana, but they do not have the type of situation as Belize has, with some big countries, with cartels, with big gangs that can easily come into our space. Gangs and people who do business of any sort always want to make more profit. So it will induce and it will invite others to come in for a piece of the pie. And we think that will be sending us on the wrong avenue.
With these varying positions on the issue, the church is calling for a referendum so that the nation can decide by majority vote. And in an interesting turn of events, the opposition party today came out in support of holding that referendum on the issue. The government of Belize has not issued an official position on the call for a referendum. Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
Michael Perifete, chairman of the United Democratic Party, says while the party supports the call for a referendum, their reasons does not entirely align with those of the churches.
We are agreeing with the churches in terms of one narrow issue. We agree with the church that you should have a referendum. That's what the agreement is. Because if you talk about morality and right or wrong, we can say, well, Mr. Church, how come you have an issue with marijuana, but you're not having an issue with alcohol or cigarettes or none of those things? So we are not saying that the reasons why we are agreeing to a referendum with the church is the same reason why the church wants a referendum. The reasons may be different, but we're saying that we think that on the issue, because it's such a breakthrough issue that could affect not just the plan and what you do with it, but the entire financial system of the country. It is such an issue that by calling for a referendum, we believe that more education would have to be imparted to people, and people would become more invested in knowing the intricacies of having such an industry in the country. That's our reason. Our reason is for people to be more educated on the issue, while the church's reason, you would have to ask them that.
Early indications are that while the UDP supports the call for a referendum, they are divided on the legalization of marijuana for recreational use. Leader of the opposition, Shine Barrow, in a release earlier today, says he will, quote, vote yes to marijuana legalization in a referendum, unquote. Barrow supported the bill back in July of 2021 when it was introduced in the National Assembly. So, what role will the opposition play in the event a referendum is called?
We will come together and decide on how we want to proceed. Like I said, we have differing opinions in the party. I think by nature, we'll have to come up with an agreement as to how, if you are one individual in the party and you support it, or you are against it, how can you take your position with it being very clear that is not necessarily the position of the entire party, but just your position. So we would have to work that out as to how we go about expressing our different views in the event that a referendum is called for.
The National Trade Union Congress of Belize has also weighed in on the call for a referendum on the cannabis bill. A strongly worded release from the NTUCB this afternoon is calling on the government to immediately halt the proposed legalization. The umbrella organization for trade unions is also demanding GOB hold countrywide consultations to sensitize the public and listen to the positions of stakeholders, social partners, and the wider public. The Public Service Union, for its part, has indicated it has not yet taken a position on the bill. Coming up, a video surfaces of BDF soldier brutalizing man who later died. Details when we return.
Hello, friends. This is Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word.
The Bible says, I call heaven and earth to record this day against you that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life that both thou and thy seed may live. The Anglican Church in Belize once placed a large, most thought-provoking sign on the highway leaving Belize toward Belmopan. The thing that made it more captivating was that it was located near the cemetery. The sign simply read, choose your road. It was illustrated by two highways, one veered to the left while the other to the right. One was called life and the other death. The road to life was a one-way highway, while the road to death led to a dead end. It is not just the Anglican Church that encourages you to choose the right road of life, but the Bible itself. God says in His Bible, "I have set before you life and death. Choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live." The future and destiny of your children is at stake. The road you choose not only determines your destiny, but your seed or your children. When the Philippian jailer asked Paul and Silas, "What must I do to be saved?" Paul said, "Believe on the Lord Jesus Christ, and thou shalt be saved, and thy house." It happened repeatedly in the New Testament and still continues today. The best way to help our troubled youth get on the right road is for their parents to make first that choice. God says, "Choose life, that thou and thy seed, thy family, may live." Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
We have traveled, and we have consulted with communities across Belize to ensure the best solutions for their energy needs. Under BEL's Rural Electrification Program, and with funds provided by the European Union, mini-grid systems will be constructed in several remote communities in southern Belize.
This mini-grid, this will benefit us. The school will benefit, the church will benefit, and the people.
Belize Electricity Limited. We remain committed to delivering safe, reliable, and sustainable energy solutions.
Today, the chilling video of a man being stomped repeatedly on a highway median sent shockwaves across social media. And by this evening, 27-year-old BDF Private Raheem Williams of Rivas Estate area in Dangriga Town was charged with murder. Private Williams, who is stationed at Cornell Isles Camp in Orange Walk, was captured on amateur video during the incident which occurred near the Central Park in Orange Walk Town on Friday night. The victim, 38-year-old Estevan Baiza, reportedly got into an altercation with a soldier. The fight ended with Baiza unconscious, while Private Williams, who was off duty and in casual clothing, stood over him and stomped him multiple times. A number of citizens approached and a police mobile pulled up shortly after. Baiza was put into the pan of the pickup and rushed to the Northern Regional Hospital. He was later transferred to the Carl Huchner Memorial Hospital as he had suffered severe head and throat injuries, but died 2 days later. Late this evening, police formally arrested and charged Williams for the crime of murder. The BDF has issued a statement of condolences to the family and promises to facilitate the investigation by police. As the Easter holiday approaches, the Belize Police Department and the Belize Port Authority are sharing safety tips for those traveling on the highways or heading to the Keys. News 5's Marian Ali reports.
It's the longest holiday of the year, and many working people see it as a mini vacation to spend some quality time away from home with the family or with other relatives or friends they haven't seen in a while. For some parents who must work, sending their children who are on Easter break ahead to be with relatives or friends is sometimes an option, but that brings with it a degree of risks that the Belize Police Department's Communication Director, ASP Fitzroy Yearwood, advises against.
We see an increase of visitors on Kikaka and San Pedro during the Easter break especially. Everybody wants to, because you know this is considered the dry weather, the heat is on. People want to go to the sea, the Keys, people want to go to the rivers. If you know that these swimming places or waterways don't have lifeguards, then you are not there, don't send your child unattended. We know we have this various swimming pools that you can go and pay a fee and then you can use that facility. Do not send your children on their own.
If you decide to keep your children with you and prefer to take the entire family for the 4 days, Yearwood warned against making public statements of your departure.
We don't want you to give the thieves that opportunity to have a field day. You go to, let's say, Cancun for 5 days, they stay in your house for 5 nights, and then they leave when they know you're coming back because of your Facebook posts or maybe your WhatsApp status. I cannot control how you post your pictures, but if you know that your home will be unattended, I am encouraging you not to post these things about your, your location.
And if you have your own boat and are thinking about taking your family to the Keys for the Easter holidays, Operations Manager at the Belize Port Authority, Michael Jenkins, says there are 6 elements that you need to check before venturing out to sea.
You must look at your hull. Make sure that your hull is intact, is structurally sound. You have to look at your machinery. Is your machinery working properly? Do you have enough gas to go on your destination? You have to look at your equipment. Your equipment, your compass, your lights on your vessel. Do you have communication? So those are things that are important. Then you have to look at how you load your vessel. Is it properly loaded? Do you have sufficient manpower to man that vessel? Because if you only have one captain and no help, you might end up in problem. And then lastly, improper loading. We have to make sure that you balance your vessel correctly.
Jenkins says that the Port Authority will have increased personnel checking the water taxi terminals during the Easter to ensure that all safety protocols are adhered to. Reporting for News 5, I'm Marian Ali.
An agreement has been signed between the government of Belize and the Pan American Health Organization for technical cooperation in mental health and psychosocial care through the second road safety project. It comes by way of a loan from the Caribbean Development Bank to build the country's road safety management capacity. Recently, there have been many fatalities as a result of road traffic accidents. And for survivors, as well as those left behind, there are significant emotional, psychological, and financial burdens on families of victims. As it stands, the post-crash care system focuses on saving lives and physical recovery, and not mental health. PAHO's technical cooperation will strengthen the capabilities of key professionals in emergency services and post-crash care by imparting skills in psychosocial support through a 4-week national training for 4 cohorts. PAHO will work closely with the Ministries of Health and Wellness and Human Development, BIRT, the Department of Transport, the Police Traffic Unit, the Municipal Traffic Department, public and private stakeholders, teachers, and community members. The agreement was signed by the Ministry of Economic Development CEO Dr. Osman Martinez and PAHO representative in Belize, Dr. Noreen Jack. After the break, Citco steps up to deal with Mahogany Street and other Belize City thoroughfares. But first, here is a look at the latest COVID-19 figures.
My name is Janine and I live in Belize City. I've been a social worker for 2 years now. Social work is actually a difficult job. It takes a lot from you, not physically, but mentally. I went for an interview once for a job in dealing with youths at risk. And while in the interview, I was asked the question if I'm sure I wanted the job because it was dealing with troubled youths. And the interviewer looked at me and said, well, we would prefer a male for the job. I was hurt at first because I thought I was as qualified as the male to get the job. And it really stuck with me because then I thought, if I am as qualified, why wasn't I chosen? Why would you want to eliminate 50% of the workforce? People are supposed to be hired based on merit and not gender.
What does electrification mean to Toyota? Everything. Toyota is driven by the freedom to go anywhere, and this mentality is clear in the diversity of its electrified vehicle lineup. Whether in the around-town efficiency or off-road performance of a hybrid, the perfect blend of gasoline and electric driving of a plug-in, the technologically advanced hydrogen-powered fuel cell, or a zero-emissions all-battery electric vehicle, Toyota, electrify your drive with a powertrain for all.
Who offers the best home internet experience? The truth is, Digi, of course. Diginet has the largest fiber network and the fastest speeds with the most reliable service. That's more learning, more earning, more gaming, more bonding, more sharing, getting more things done. And now, Diginet is even more affordable with the new entry plan, a 20 megabits per second fiber connection for just $49 monthly, and increased speeds in all plans. The truth is, only Digi has the ultimate home internet experience, with savings up to $270 when you bundle. Wireless and cable can't give you that. So what are you waiting for? Sign up or make the switch to Diginet today to enjoy more speeds to get more done. Digi, our national telecom.
In the last decade, Belize has risen to become one of the Caribbean's most popular tourist destinations. From beautiful beaches to lush jungles, vibrant cultures and people, and breathtaking World Heritage sites, Belize has it all.
Hi, I'm Angela from Belizeing.com, and this is the Belizeing Tourism Innovation Lab project.
Don't miss the virtual launch of the Belizeing Tourism Innovation Lab project on Monday, April 4th at 8:30 p.m. right here on Channel 5. Tune in and become aware of how this project will positively impact and transform the tourism and economic sectors of Belize.
Hello, welcome to Samsung's awesome experience right here in Belize. Come check it out. Not sure which Samsung Galaxy A series is right for you? Touch, play, and learn about your device before you buy. Once you've purchased your device, you can now benefit from the full Samsung service experience. Your phone is covered by a 1-year local warranty. This includes manufacturer defects and software and hardware issues caused by the manufacturer. Enjoy your phone with peace of mind knowing that your Galaxy is protected. And when your warranty expires, you can still bring it to our certified Samsung Repair Center. Our technicians will diagnose and repair your device with Samsung original parts and machinery. Enjoy the Samsung experience when you shop at any of our authorized partners countrywide, including Cellular World, Digi, Odette's Home Center, Debari, Tropigas, and Quartz. Join the Samsung experience in Belize today.
Download the SmartStream app on the Android Play Store and create your account to get access to movies and stream at home or on the go. Prepaid customers can purchase regular data packages or get a discounted rate on a special SmartStream package by dialing 7737. Postpaid customers will be billed monthly. Never miss a movie again with SmartStream.
Get your body sculpted with gym equipment and accessories from Benny's.
Celebrating 75 years of quality and savings.
On Monday, News 5 showed you the state of disrepair on Mahogany Street and the challenges motorists were having navigating a short section of road that is in deplorable condition. The Belize City Council, in recognizing the issue, has moved swiftly to resurface that area, along with 9 other streets in similar state of disorder across the Old Capital. Earlier today, we sat down with Mayor Bernard Wagner and Councillor Alan Pollard, who shared with us City Hall's plans to rehabilitate a number of streets in Belize City in the coming weeks.
The Belize City Council has commenced remedial work on a section of Mahogany Street near St. Luke's Methodist School. The area has long been a problem for motorists who traverse that stretch of road at all hours. To solve the issue for good, CITCO has decided to concrete that portion of the thoroughfare. Councillor Alan Pollard is responsible for streets and drains.
That was scheduled for this week as one of the priority areas. I mean, we know that a lot of people traverse on Mahogany Street. You have the influx of dollar vans and people who do business at the complex area. So and in addition to that, we have the Tourism Gastronomic Center coming on soon. So we did have that as a priority area. We have been servicing that portion of Mahogany with aggregates for quite some time, months and months.
Notwithstanding the time and effort, as well as financial resources put into repairing that section of Mahogany Street, City Hall has decided on a permanent solution. The existing material has been removed to make room for a steel bed that will be filled with concrete in the days ahead.
While it looks small, it is a significant amount of money that needs to be put there to be concreted. Right? If you went out today, you'd see that we have already dug up the existing materials and we're leveling now for placement of steel, and we should be pouring that soon. So residents could look out for that in the coming days.
According to Councillor Pollard, a total of 10 streets have been designated for urgent repairs.
In terms of the city streets, we have it separated into two categories. One, streets to be concreted, and streets that are being chip and seal or tarred, basically. Of that, it's basically 10 and 10, right? And of that, Mahogany Street, as you reported last night, is one of those on the list.
Also on the list is a section of Albert Hoy Avenue in the vicinity of Belama Phase 3. CITCO has committed to resurfacing the faulty portions of that carriageway. However, Mayor Bernard Wagner says that there is little that can be done to repair Apollo Street.
That Apollo Street came under a project, the Climate Vulnerability Reduction Program, which really looked at that street, the construction of that street, but also the construction of a bridge, which would have given people who are accessing Belama Phase 4 and 5 that alternate route via the bridge rather than Apollo Street. Apollo Street runs parallel to the highway, and as you know, the highway as always has that sink terrain, and it requires significant engineering and technical expertise to really get it. It was a bad project from day one.
The municipal government has spent considerably in trying to remedy the problem. That neighborhood in Belama Phase 4 is low-lying and prone to flooding. Several efforts have been made to address the problem, but to hear Mayor Wagner tell it, Apollo Street has become a money pit.
It's simple of a matter where we put money into a project that will continue to sink. Right? We spend over $1 million each every year to just put in hardcore material to just have it sink in the ground, so it's wasting money. Just last week I wrote the Ministry of Infrastructure explaining to them that we require some measure of assistance, technical assistance, engineering assistance to really come up with a long-term solution to that street. It is trafficked a lot, given that the Bernice York Institute of Learning is on that street.
Reporting for News 5, I am Isana Cayetano.
Cesar Ridge Road at its intersection with Central American Boulevard is also a busy corner. Gas tankers as well as flatbed trucks traverse the area around the clock to deliver fuel as well as to freight goods coming in and leaving the country. Needless to say, it is also in poor condition, and it is on CITCO's priority list for street repairs. According to Councillor Alan Pollard, the Belize City Council is reaching out to the Port of Belize as well as the nearby fuel depot to join forces in concreting that stretch of road.
Cesar Ridge Road, this is a proposal that we are proposing to the Port of Belize and also to the Esso fuel station to have them assist with concreting the entire portion of Cesar Ridge. This is one of the main economic centers of not only Belize City but the country. Most of our goods and products come in from the port, and it's just sad to see that it's in that condition, and most of the people who are using the area are not the ones really affected. It's the residents in the area who are tortured by the dust, who have to use the street as their main entrances. So we are trying to see how quick and best we could get that resolved, and I think the best way to do that is through partnership, because it will take a significant amount of money to reservice. Whatever we put there, it has to be able to withstand that type of weight, continuous weight. And like I said, it's the main economic center for Belize and the main entrance for goods and services. So I think it's something that we must start to look at as priority and partner with as much people as possible.
It's been a week since parking meters were installed along Albert Street in downtown Belize City. The introduction of devices used to collect money in exchange for the right to park a vehicle in a particular location for a limited amount of time is part of a year-long pilot project being undertaken by the Belize City Council. The initiative, however, is being met with mixed feelings by the business community. Business owners have expressed some concerns, but have reserved comment until Thursday when a public meeting is scheduled at the House of Culture to discuss those issues. Ahead of the meeting, Mayor Bernard Wagner discussed the advantages of the parking meter, despite the concerns at hand.
It is a period that we are giving ourselves to really gather the necessary data to see if parking meters will work in the city. We are very confident that it is a new tool because socially it really gives us that social component where each and every resident has the opportunity to enjoy a shared space of parking in the city. Economically, for businesses operating in those two zones, it gives those businesses the opportunity to have their customers park at the place they are doing business with. Thirdly, it is environmentally sound, that it will reduce the congestion in the city, people driving around looking for parking space, the emission of CO2 in the air, the parking meters are solar panel. So it really addresses three areas: socially, economically, and environmentally. Now, in terms of the complaint, we do have a public meeting set for this coming Thursday where we will hear the concerns of those residents after 1 week. But you have to give every thing a chance. You have to give the project an opportunity and to see how it works. You can't just be negative in everything we do.
According to Mayor Wagner, some business owners may be up in arms because they no longer enjoy the preferential parking that they have had before now. He says that business owners should also know their customers.
I know there have been some complaints from business owners. I don't see what the complaint may be, but I do know that the preferential parking that those business entities enjoy may be one of the reasons there is this complaint. But for the business have to really be able to define who are their customers. Are your customers commuters that walk to your store, or are they commuters that drive to your store and want parking to conduct business? You have to be able to define who is your customer, and if your customer is a customer who catches the dollar van or lives in the area and walk to the store, you will not lose any business. If your customer is a customer who wants to drive, lives out town and want to drive to Brody's, want to drive to Downtown Plaza, now they have the opportunity to park right in front of your business to conduct business. So I'm still wondering how there may be this out there that they are losing business. The only business that the entities are losing right now is the preferential parking for the owners of the business, and that is how I am seeing it right now.
Just ahead, are you self-employed? If so, the Social Security Board wants to talk to you about contributions that help you build some security later in life. But first, here's a weather update with data from the Belize Met Service.
Please stop! Stop!
Jackie, let's go for ice cream. And remember, if your mom hears about this, Amy will get her share too. Hey, Jack. How about you and Uncle J pair a little game?
No, Uncle, I don't like your games.
Well, that means I'll have to start playing with little Amy then.
No, not Amy. I'll play with you.
That's my baby girl.
Sexual violence against children can cause lifelong harm and suffering, which may often be hidden. Too many survivors of sexual violence are re-victimized, even by the very people who are supposed to love and protect them. The restrictions put into effect during the COVID-19 pandemic made it even more challenging for people to report acts of sexual violence. It is never too late to speak up and to seek help you or a loved one may need. Sexual violence may breed a vicious cycle of domestic violence, and its effects can span generations. Girls who experience sexual violence as children are also at higher risk of staying in situations of domestic violence. Belize will not be safe until its women are safe. Secure Belize.
The contamination of water we all depend on is a very urgent issue. As Belize's popularity and industries grow, challenges increase. In this episode, we will examine the issue of water pollution in Belize. Water pollution is the contamination of water bodies, usually because of human activities. Water bodies include lagoons, rivers, aquifers, and oceans. On the marine side, the discharge of sewage and bilge water from cruise ships and other live-aboard vessels, in combination with unregulated development of coastal areas, has led to the degradation of marine ecosystems such as mangroves and coral reefs. Our inland waters are facing their own challenges. As agricultural development increases, pesticides, fertilizers, and waste products are running off into rivers. Increased river traffic from boat tours and sugar barges adds to the already stressful conditions of the freshwater ecosystems. In addition, companies that collect sewage sometimes dump the waste right into the waterways. Additionally, in densely populated areas like Belize City and Orange Walk, poor sewage designs result in the contamination of groundwater and of water bodies by both sewage and wash water. In many cases, homes and businesses dump their wastewater directly into drains, which leads to rivers and the sea. Wastewater, detergents, and petroleum collect in drains that empty into waterways, such as the New River and the Belize River. This, along with the runoff and discharges from the agricultural and industrial businesses, have been inadequately monitored and enforced. The answers to overcoming water pollution issues are fourfold: improved infrastructure, adequate treatment, increased legislation and monitoring, and of course, changing our habits for the better. While it is urgent that better management on a policy level is needed, there are a few things we can do at home to help. Ensure proper treatment systems are installed for all wastewater at your home and business. Don't dispose of oil from your automobiles or cooking and household detergents down the drain. And lastly, minimize the usage of chemicals and fertilizers and report any dumping into waterways to the Department of the Environment. The government has recognized the threat of inadequate liquid waste management and is working toward goals of reducing and reversing its effects. For more information on what's being done about water pollution and ways you can help, visit our website at doe.gov.bz. I'm Alison Castillo, and now you know.
As our next paychecks reflect the new deductions for the final 1% that we pay in as Social Security contributions, One topic that will likely show up on the talk shows soon is that of pension reform. There, we will talk about whether the retirement age should be pushed further back and how the increasing number of self-employed persons can begin making Social Security contributions to secure their own futures. News 5 touches on these issues with SSB CEO Deborah Ruiz.
We have to look at the changing demographics of how the pension payment is operating under Social Security, and what would be what we refer to as parametric changes that need to happen. Whether we need to move from perhaps paying a pension at 10 years to perhaps you need to have contributed for 15 or 20 years before you are entitled to a pension. So those are the conversations in terms of pension reform, what it is that we would like and what it is that we can afford, so that we have the discussion and make adjustments in terms of coverage expansion, even looking at for the self-employed. Right now, the what you call the intake of that is very low at 3%. With COVID situation, we have seen a lot of people starting to work for themselves. So that is an opportunity that I would advise those persons who have their own business to consider whether or not they want to contribute to Social Security as a self-employed person. We will be undertaking shortly some consultation because the current program, the feedback we have received is that it's a bit restrictive for them. So we want to engage with our self-employed persons to start that discussion as to how Social Security can work to design a program and expand coverage that would include both short-term and pension benefits. So we're looking mostly at the contributory pension, self-employed pension, and how we can work together to design a system that works better for everybody. On our website, there's a lot of information on how you can claim, and we stand ready to assist any questions you have. We have a live chat on our website. We also respond through Facebook Messenger, and you can reach us soon via WhatsApp. And of course, we have our email channels that are posted on the website, info@Social Security, and we have our claims email to submit claims electronically. We encourage our beneficiaries, if you need further information or as a group you would like more interaction with us, we are willing to facilitate.
The Ministry of Tourism and Diaspora Relations recently completed town hall meetings in both Los Angeles and Las Vegas. With an ever-increasing population of Belizeans in the diaspora, CEO Nicole Solano told News 5 the meetings look at a range of issues and are a chance to maintain connections.
Belizeans living abroad are, first of all, very happy to be engaged directly with people living in Belize, the government officials, the ministers. They really do appreciate hearing firsthand, being able to connect. They feel just glad to be in the presence and to learn firsthand about what's happening in their home country. As you know, Belizeans living abroad have a lot of family in Belize, and they care deeply about what is happening in Belize. So for us to be able to share with them firsthand and give them that the facts about where the government is going, they really appreciate it. Of course, a lot of people have issues related to how to reach out to their family at home. Many of them want easier ways of sending gifts for them or donations, funds, resources. These are some of the things. People have issues related to their land, paying their taxes. How can they renew things like Social Security cards? There's a whole long list of things that and special needs that the Belizean diaspora have. And being out there, we're able to discuss directly with them how to resolve the issues that they have and how to help them to connect and get the things done that they need to get done in Belize. A lot of them as well want to invest in Belize. You know, they have business, they've been very successful, they want to come home, they want to start business in Belize. So being able to hear firsthand from the government of Belize on how to make that better or easier for them is very important to them.
These recent meetings were continuations of last year's diaspora outreach efforts in Houston, Chicago, New York, and Miami. The Ministry of Tourism continues to market Belize as a travel destination on the international market. Most recently, the Belize Tourism Board represented the country at the Dallas Travel and Adventure Show. BTB representatives shared updates of Belize's entry requirements and met with agents and potential visitors. CEO Solano says keeping Belize on people's minds is the goal.
Belize Tourism Board actually has a list of travel and trade shows that they attend throughout the year. It is important for us to have a presence in these shows so that people who want to travel to Belize can see Belize and Belize can remain top of mind. Also, when they meet up with the people who represent Belize from the Belize Tourism Board, they can ask specific questions about travel. Also, we attend along with other hotels and tour operators from the country who can provide specific information about travel and hotel information. And it's all a part of the larger marketing efforts for the country. One activity that allows us to connect with the potential tourists and travelers coming to Belize. So the show in Dallas, Houston, of course, and Dallas, Texas in general is a very important market for Belize. We have a lot of travelers coming from the US and we have direct, as you know, out of Texas. So being able to develop the market there and remain top of mind is very important in the entire marketing process.
3 high school students were honored this week for their winning submissions in the U.S. Embassy's first Black History Month poetry contest. First place recognition went to the poem Black Rose by Rosa Pinello of the St. Ignatius High School. Second and third place were awarded for Black Excellence by Keisha Aranda and This Tree by Atia Richards, respectively. Both are students of Edward Peork High School. Students from high schools across Belize were invited to submit an original poem related to this year's theme, Black Health and Wellness. The winning entries are on display at the U.S. Embassy, and the young poets recited them in a video on the Embassy's social media account. Up next, much-needed equipment to help the Women's Department combat gender-based violence. Stay with us.
In a world where so much is going wrong, so many things are uncertain, and hope feels nowhere to be found, do you ever find yourself wondering where God is in all of this? It's normal to have questions about God sometimes. This Easter, we're ready to tackle some of these tough questions. Visit sagebrush.church/Easter to check out all our service times and ways to watch at one of our physical locations, online, or on TV.
Off goal, what a goal from Leo Messi! What an incredible strike from Leo Messi! Neymar and Messi is standing over this. Messi! Off goal, what a goal from Leo
Great
Messi!
entertainment stays with you, and we bring you great entertainment. Next Gen, the ultimate digital experience.
What is the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine? The Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine is an RNA vaccine that triggers our immune system to develop antibodies against the SARS-CoV-2 virus that causes COVID-19. It helps to reduce hospitalization, severity of the disease, and death. What is the Pfizer vaccine made of, and is it safe? The Pfizer vaccine is made up of mRNA messenger ribonucleic acid, which are molecules that carry the genetic information needed to make proteins, lipid, salts, and sugar. It is safe for persons 12 years and older and does not contain the COVID-19 virus, hence cannot cause infection. Tests have shown that the vaccine is effective against current virus variants. Who should take the Pfizer vaccine? The Pfizer vaccine should be taken by persons 12 years of age and older who do not have severe allergic reaction after a previous dose of vaccine or have not had severe allergic reaction to any ingredient of this vaccine. 2 doses of the vaccine are required 3 weeks apart. If you are between the ages of 12 and 17 years, you are required to present a signed consent form before you are vaccinated. What are the side effects of the Pfizer vaccine? Some common side effects of the Pfizer vaccine are headache, fatigue, muscle pain, fever, chills, and swelling at the injection site. If side effects persist, contact your doctor as soon as possible. Does the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine prevent infection and transmission? No, vaccination alone does not prevent infection and transmission. We are still required to continue to wear masks properly, physically distance, wash and sanitize hands often, practice proper coughing and sneezing hygiene, and avoid crowds.
Download the SmartStream app on the Android Play Store and create your account to get access to movies and stream at home or on the go. Prepaid customers can purchase regular data packages or get a discounted rate on a special SmartStream package by dialing 7737. Postpaid customers will be billed monthly. Never miss a movie again with SmartStream.
Some $40,000 worth of equipment was handed over by the United Nations Development Program to the Women's Department. The donation was made possible through the Spotlight Initiative and will assist in strengthening fam care within the department. So, what will the equipment be used for? It is expected to improve the capacity of the department to collect data which will be used to analyze gender-based violence in Belize.
We're coming out of the Women's Month, and it will help us when it comes to gender-based violence so that our social workers can actually have access to the computer system, and because we've been using these computers that we have for so many years. So this will definitely help doing it. Goes a long way, like I said before. And we've also gotten a firewall system that will help in keeping people's information confidential. And it's very secured, so we are so happy and we're so grateful.
When we first designed Spotlight, this is 3 or so years ago, we did recognize that the Fam Care program was an important program in Belize, and there was, so we defined support to strengthen that, to ensure that we can have the gender-based violence module as part of Fam Care. But I don't think there was a full appreciation of the capacity limitations as it related to equipment and so on. So in the implementation of Spotlight, we were able to identify some areas that we could, for want of a better term, have savings. And based on the needs as defined by the Ministry of Human Development, we were able to agree and invest in this equipment, which, as you heard earlier from the ministry, from Minister and from Cynthia Williams, is going to be very important to the work that they need to do, because at the end of the day they need the equipment, they need the tools to do the work.
The donation comprises of 15 desktop computers, a television, printer, firewall, and an upgrade to the FamCare case management system. While with the Minister of State in the Ministry of Human Development, Families and Indigenous Peoples Affairs, News 5 asked about the plans going forward to ensure inclusion at all levels. Here's what Minister Elvia Vega Samos had to say.
It's okay for everybody to have their own personal opinions, but at the end of the day, as a country, it is important that we come together and we make the best for our country. It only takes us to come together and talk to each other. I think communication is key. In any relationship, communication is key, Dwayne. So it's all about communication, Dwayne, and empathizing and putting yourself in other people's shoes.
Do you see there being any other advancements, whether it be in technology or, as you mentioned, communicating with the people who fall under this ministry to more effectively hear their voices or to do more work for them?
Definitely, I believe we should have trainings planned for our workers, more workshops, getting to know what is working, what is not working, how can the ministry reach out to each of the workers. And from there on, it's a trickle-down effect, because then you'd have a good, how can I say, a good relationship with the people in our society, with the women, with the children, with the families. So if our workers are happy, then it just trickles down and everybody feels included then, or is included.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.